I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. I mean, like, my momentum is. I've got great momentum at the moment, and I kind of like set out a goal to elevate my jiu-jitsu a little bit by training more, by paying a little bit more attention in class. I feel a lot more focused now, and I feel like I've got some great momentum going on at the moment. I've been injury-free for a prolonged period of time. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling excited as well. I'm feeling good.
Deslie.
Yeah. So what spurred the resurgence of so pretty much, obviously, like, as a lower belt, I competed as much as possible. I enjoyed competing. Things got a little bit difficult. Kind of pulled back a little bit on competing, and then the pandemic happened, and everyone got an opportunity to reevaluate their life and what matters to them, and I put some more value into also my age. I turned 40 in March, so the realization that everything's got a time scale on it. Life is can be over in like what feels like 2 seconds. Take the opportunity while you're fit and strong and good vitality to go out there and compete. And so, like a year ago, I set out the goal to just enter every single competition that I could logistically afford to do, financially afford to do, whatever it is, make sacrifices in my life to be able to compete. And because I understood, and this is the thing on the international scene, is that guys are competing every single weekend. And in South Africa, the sport is still growing. It's on an upward trajectory, but we aren't yet at the place where we can compete every weekend. But at least we can compete every month. But if you miss a competition, you haven't competed for 2 months, and so then you have to restart that momentum. You have to work out the right kind of competitive mindset for a competition, and you have to keep sort of resetting yourself. And I thought to myself, well, what happens if you don't allow that reset to happen? If you just commit to taking every opportunity of competing, and that's that mindset change for me. And the realization that obviously everything's got a time scale on it. I'm 40 now. Who knows at what point? But hopefully not too soon. Like my body stops working, but just use what you've got now, make the most of it, So that's what's brought the surge back, COVID, reevaluate, what do you want to do, how great is it? It's so therapeutic to compete. It's horrible at times because you're paranoid and you're stressed and you're nervous but all the motions that you go through are the rewards afterwards, win or lose, because I've lost in fights and in fact feel great afterwards. So it's such a great opportunity to be able to compete. You should be doing it, And now I spend so much time on the mats. I should be testing myself at every opportunity. So yeah, Chris and I, we are friends. We Chris started jiu-jitsu here at the club with us before moving back to Joburg. I don't know if he started here or he had already been doing it or something like that. But anyway, he was whatever, a white belt here while I was a purple or a blue belt at the time. We have a friendship, and he is very strong. He's very determined. He's got a great competitive mindset. It's like you can see him turn it on. You've seen him against guys like Cam. He got dominated in that fight, but he's so resilient that it goes to overtime and he wins. We've seen him go up against someone like JP. He's fought in a weight division above, which isn't really maybe it's like his natural weight in some way, but not where he's comfortable. He's comfortable at my weight, under 77, and so he's dangerous. He's very strong. He's very determined. So I do respect him as a guy on and off the mats as well. But yeah. So I do not take him lightly. Like I do not for 1 second think that like I should take anything easy with Chris, because and over the past year or two since they started the gym, and he's moved more into like a competitor instructor. He's taken more responsibility in the sport, and he's now participating in the growth of the sport. So I do respect him. A lot of love for him, but come fight time, it's no love lost.
Just it'd be almost disrespectful to not go out there and give it your all against each other. Do you agree with that?
100%, yeah. So, you might get, even though we were teammates before, you might get guys who are from the same club or have had trained before together, or mates or whatever it is. You might get some guys going a little easy against each other or something like that, but I know his personality, he knows my personality. Nobody's holding back anything. Like no one's giving anyone a small opportunity. Once a match starts, it's an all-out war, and when it's finished, we're brothers again, and like that's what's so beautiful about jiu-jitsu, and that's what's so beautiful about the sport and the community, is that like we're gonna go out there, test each other, and come out, one of us is going to come out successful. I put a lot of value in it, I guess, because really, if you were to kind of draw a graph and where someone is peaking, like if as my current run with ADCC, Sub Kings, both on the competition and the fight nights, and wanting to go to Poland in September as well. Like, this is probably at 40 years old. I'm not going to fight masters. I will be fighting adult. I want to put myself up against the best everywhere. Now, while I still can, I've got no excuses to not do so. So, if you look at that graph, I'm at the little peak, and maybe after this, at some point over the next year or two, maybe like that peak starts to go down. But for now, like, I know I'm at that peak at the top there, and so you want to make that peak when you hit that top like as great as possible. So if that's winning some absolute titles as a lighter guy, or taking a title and getting a belt and holding on to that for a year or something, or however long it takes for someone to come and get me. Like, there's value to this, and I spend so much time on the mats. I'm training 2 times a day at the moment on some days. Spending 3 hours on the mats at a time. It would be silly to not put any value on like testing your skill set out and getting like a piece of like a reward for it, and the title for it. So that's how I feel about that.
Does that sound like any pressure in the big position?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Definitely. The production value that Sub Kings is put out has, elevated the sport within South Africa as a fight night experience for people watching, streaming. Most of our guys from Cape Town, everybody gathers on a Friday night, like they would for UFC in the early hours of the morning. They gather on a Friday night and they do. Everyone watches Sub Kings, and it's very cool. So like, there's definitely some value attached to it, and so for me as well as a representation of my skill and a sport that I enjoy and love, community that I love. It puts some added pressure, but also makes it more exciting. I mean, exactly makes it more exciting with the pressure.
What would it mean to you to bring back the title back to Windsor racing?
It would, following on from the previous question, it would mean a lot to me to put it here on the shelf here. Would be awesome. I spend so much time in this gym. I am, I'm a senior brown belt here, and a lot of our lower belts look up to me in terms of my competition mindset. And so, I guess, Jordan held the title before, and having left, it would be nice to bring it back here, just to show that, like, he's not, even though he is, but he's not the only outlier, and that we kind of, as outliers, congregate in this room, and constantly challenge each other, and we elevate jiu-jitsu in the country. So it would be awesome to have this piece of this representation of all that effort on display here and back to Cape Town. You can expect fireworks. I'm going to come out firing on all cylinders, not holding back anything. I've been working on some different things now. I know that Chris is nervous to fight me. I've never met anyone that isn't nervous to fight me, that doesn't feel like, even in training, all my training partners, like, I wouldn't say they complain, but they get nervous. So I've got a very high pressure game. So I really want to show that. I'd like to have a similar fight to the way that I had with Brandon originally in my first Sub Kings appearance. I would love to do that, like just a very dominant top pressure game. The last fight that I had against Deslie, I was very nervous about the altitude and gassing myself, having gassed in the quintet, which obviously I fought 3 people back to back. So, but I did hit the wall there against bad news at the end. I ran out of steam. So I was very worried about that when I fought Dill in the last fight. And so I was conscious about it. And this time, the 10-minute fight is perfect. I love a long fight. I love being able to push the physical boundaries. I like to be able to make things uncomfortable for my opponent. It also becomes uncomfortable for me because of the pace that I go at, still going at. So you can expect guns blazing. That's it.